Before the world ran on dollars, it ran on fear, empires, and gold ships that vanished into the ocean. Imagine this. A merchant in the 1600s is standing on a dock, watching a ship loaded with silver coins sail away, knowing that if it sinks, an entire kingdom's economy could collapse with it. No dollar existed yet. No Wall Street. No Federal Reserve. And yet, trade was happening across continents, empires were rising and falling, and somehow, everyone agreed on what money actually meant. So who did the world trust before America even existed as a superpower? Stick around, because the answer is stranger, bloodier, and more fascinating than you think. And if you love uncovering the hidden forces that shaped our world, make sure you're subscribed to Broken World, because this is exactly the kind of story we live for. Let's go back further than most people realize. Long before paper money, before banks, before anything resembling modern finance, trust wasn't built on ink and promises. It was built on weight. Literally. Gold and silver coins were trusted because you could bite them, melt them, weigh them. A coin from Rome could be used in Egypt. A coin from Persia could buy goods in India. Why? Because metal doesn't lie. That's the first open loop I want you to hold on to, because later, this exact idea is what breaks apart the entire ancient system. Now here's where it gets interesting. Around 2,000 years ago, one currency didn't just circulate, it dominated. The Roman Denarius. This wasn't just money, it was a symbol of power. Wherever the Roman legions marched, the denarius followed. Merchants in Britain, tribes in Germania, traders in the Middle East, they all accepted it because behind that coin stood the most terrifying military machine the ancient world had ever seen. Trust in currency, even then, was never really about the metal. It was about the empire standing behind it. But empires fall. And when Rome collapsed, so did faith in that coin. For a while, chaos ruled. Different kingdoms minted their own money, but none of it carried the same universal trust. That vacuum lasted centuries, until a new empire found a clever trick that changed everything. Enter the Byzantine Empire, and their golden solidus. This coin became so respected, so consistently pure in gold content for over 700 years, that merchants across Europe, Africa, and Asia treated it like a global standard. Historians even nicknamed it the dollar of the Middle Ages. Let that sink in. Centuries before America existed, a coin from Constantinople was functioning exactly like the US dollar functions today. Then something remarkable happened in the Islamic world. Islamic trade routes stretching from Spain to China created massive demand for a currency people could count on, and the silver dirham stepped into that role. It wasn't just about religion or empire, it was about consistency. Silver content stayed reliable, and that reliability created trust across cultures that otherwise had almost nothing in common. But we can't talk about global trust in money without talking about the British pound sterling. When the British Empire expanded across the globe, controlling nearly a quarter of the planet at its peak, the pound became the backbone of international trade. Banks in India, colonies in Africa, ports in Asia, they all operated using British currency as the anchor. For nearly 2 centuries, if you wanted stability in global trade, you needed the pound. So what changed? 2 world wars. Devastating debt. Crumbling empires. Britain could no longer support the weight of global trust, and slowly, a new power stepped in, one with gold reserves, industrial strength, and a stable government untouched by the destruction in Europe. That power was the United States, and that's how the dollar eventually took the throne. Here's the real lesson hiding underneath all of this. Currency has never truly been about paper or gold. It's always been about trust in power, trust in stability, and trust in whoever controls the story of value. Every currency that ruled the world eventually lost that trust, and history has a pattern of repeating itself. So here's a question worth sitting with. If trust shifted from Rome, to Byzantium, to the Islamic world, to Britain, and finally to America, what happens when trust shifts again? If this journey through forgotten empires and hidden currencies fascinated you, hit like, drop a comment telling me which currency surprised you the most, and subscribe to Broken World, because we are just getting started uncovering the hidden systems that secretly built our world.